Let's talk about using selfies to build your brand. I've made a few episodes now on the technical part of creating selfies or editing selfies, but what about the strategic side of things? How do you use selfies to build your brand? If you're stuck in that debate around how important is it really to spend some time leveling up your selfie game and making it part of your brand, then by the end of this episode, I want to make sure that you have a really clear understanding of exactly where selfies sit in your overall brand strategy, how important are they, and how you can start using them to grow your business and increase your success. Touch points. Let's begin with a zoomed out view of all of the different touch points you can have as a brand. You can see here are all the different touch points that can exist in any brand. The size of each circle on this diagram shows the usual amount of credence each touch point has to the perception of an overall brand. Now let's zoom in specifically on photography. And this has been made up of all the different types of photography you can expect from any modern business. Stock photography, product or technical photography do have their place, but we can leave these for another time in a future episode. This other part of photography is dedicated to brand photography. So that's photography that articulates the business in professional shot images, and it usually shows the people behind the business and how they show up, like how the business delivers what they say they're going to. And then you can see I've got selfies in here. This is an area that has increased in size and power or credence significantly as we've taken our businesses more online and have started to use social media as a way to drive traffic to our websites. You should absolutely go ahead and subscribe to Moi TV if keeping up to speed with how to effectively brand your business is something that's high up on your list of priorities right now. And if you hit the bell when you do that, you're going to be notified every single time a new episode comes out. Common misunderstandings. Let's go back to the diagram. As you can see from looking at the zoomed out diagram, it would be foolish to think that one type of photography can replace another when you're thinking about the photography part of your branding. In my opinion, all of them have a valid place in most brands, and this is because all of them do something slightly different for your brand communications. For me, brand photography is all about showing the pinnacle of the photographic image that articulates your brand. So it's the most polished version of the business owners or team behind the business, and it is really well thought out, choreographed imagery that really articulates why a business does what it does. That might be done with professional lighting, it might be done with props, locations, outfits, extras, the list goes on. Now you're going to want to use your brand photography because it has this potency all over your website and in key moments like in advertising, in your presentations or public appearances, in your public relations, especially in the press, as well as in your own publications like brochures, magazines, guides, and lead magnets. Selfies or DIY phonography is all about documenting the flawed, imperfect part of your day-to-day as a business. I'm talking about nitty-gritty like your messy desk, or what it looks like when you've pulled an all-nighter, hanging out with some biz pals, on the job with a client, what it's like when you do your commute. UGC or user-generated content, so that's selfies or phonography that have been taken by your end users to document their engagement or their feeling of what it was like to work with your brand. And sometimes in adverts. Yes, as well in adverts. I've repeated myself, haven't I? There's actually a lot of data that's building up when it comes to social media and online advertising that selfies, so the slightly flawed or real day-to-day image, works better. It has more engagement and therefore works as a more effective ad when you're considering doing something online. And you can see here this face of me in my rollers ended up as being a best performing photograph in a recent set of Facebook ads I've done. We tested out the branding stuff, we looked at the more polished stuff, but actually me and my rollers was something that stopped people from scrolling. Now, if this is getting your mind whizzing with some ideas about how you can start using better selfies, more strategic selfies in your marketing plan, then I'd like to personally invite you to take this challenge. This is my Love Your Selfie Challenge. This is 5 days of very different selfies techniques taught to you on email by me with daily tutorials and a final workbook. This is a great way to spring yourself into action. To register, just head on over to www.laurapearman.com/love-ya-selfie-challenge. I've got another diagram for you, and this is something that I work into most of my talks that I deliver to different people all over the place. Let's take a look at it. This is the selfie pyramid. So this is an example to show you the frequency of selfies versus that pinnacle polished brand photography. So here at the top, we've got a polished brand photograph of me. This was my brand photograph from 2017, I think, but it would still be something that I'd use today. And you can see there are no flaws. It's beautifully lit. It's been retouched. It's polished. Underneath and around this are tons of different selfies that I took and then posted out on social media as a business brand. And you can see that these capture a specific time or an occasion or a certain mood. And I matched the accompanying caption for the social media post to the image. This gives you a visual sense of how rough you can be when it comes to sharing your imperfect selfies, whilst still upholding a polished and well thought out brand. A lot of people feel really trepidatious that sharing something that isn't perfectly lit or edited is going to ruin their brand or their good name in business. And that's just not the truth. In fact, people are going to fall in love with you when they start to learn more about your flaws, and they're going to understand you more and feel a kinship with you when they see that you're just like them or that you have flaws as well. So come on then, tell me below in the comments, where are you really when it comes to using selfies as part of your brand strategy and marketing plan? Be honest with me. If you've enjoyed learning about using selfies in a strategic way to build your brand, then you're probably going to want to check out these episodes up next, all about selfies as well. I'll see you next time. Mwah. Now, before you go anywhere, don't forget to subscribe. Mwah.